Here is Clemson through the eyes of the Tiger as seen during the 2010s. Our first Tiger was Michael Speer. Michael was the number one Tiger during the 2010-2011 academic year. Michael earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Management in 2011. His hometown is Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Here is his story. Not too often the Tiger comes from the ranks of one of Clemson's prestigious Air Force or Army ROTC programs. My brother Andrew and I both received an Air Force ROTC academic scholarship to attend Clemson. My family has a rich military background. My grandfather's cousin, Captain Theodore Dutch Van Kirk, was the navigator on the Enola Gay and flew on the mission that dropped the first atomic bomb, little boy, over Hiroshima, Japan, which helped end World War II. My maternal grandfather, Rudy Beckel, was a military police officer, corporal, and a member of the Army of Occupation after World War II. My paternal grandfather, retired Lieutenant Colonel Mike Speer, flew cargo for the Air Force during the Vietnam War. My great-uncle, Jack Martz, was a lieutenant in the Army Air Corps and flew a P-57 during World War II. My father, Mike, a retired Air Force colonel, was a C-17 command pilot for the U.S. Air Force Reserves. My brother Andrew, Clemson class of 2013, is a captain and is an acquisitions officer for Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Currently, I'm a captain and a pilot of a C-17 for the 300th Airlift Squadron at the Charleston Air Force Base. While in the Air Force ROTC program, a decision heavily influenced by our family's military background, I first got an opportunity to fire the cannon while serving as a mascot. As my responsibilities increased as the Tiger, Andrew took over firing the cannon for the next 3 years. Every Military Appreciation Day is special to those in attendance. On November 6, 2010, with Andrew in his utility uniform, more commonly known as fatigues, I stood behind him holding an American flag as 4 F-16s from Shaw Air Force Base flew over Memorial Stadium at the conclusion of the national anthem. The first player off the bus holding an American flag was senior offensive guard Mace. Cloy was in the Army ROTC program at Clemson. Duty, honor, country, and Clemson football was our battle cry on this patriotic day. Final score, Clemson 14, number 23 North Carolina State 13. A young man with Down syndrome heard that I was going to be at the Special Olympics at the Rock Norman track on campus. The day I met this young Olympian was just as heartwarming as Military Appreciation Day. He drew me a tiger paw and was so excited to give it to me that his eyes were wet with tears. This, in turn, made me misty-eyed, even though no one could see my tears. This tiger paw drawing is framed and hangs next to my Clemson diploma in my house. A basketball mascot can have just as much fun with 8,000 to 10,000 fans as with 80,000 fans in Death Valley. It's hard to believe, however, at basketball games you get to be inside the pregame huddle. You get to chest pump future NBA player Trevor Booker before he goes to battle. The Air Force cadre knew, but my detachment did not know, that I was the Tiger. Prior to our senior photo, my teammates kept calling my cell phone and trying to get in touch with me. Not until they saw my name on the mascot website did they believe I was in the photo. Hoo-ah! Our next Tiger was Christopher Kit Southwick. Kit was the number one Tiger during the 2011-2012 academic year. Kit earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Marketing in 2011. His hometown is St. Albans, Vermont. Here is Kit's story. In 2009, Bellows Free Academy in St. Albans, Vermont, graduated 2 senior classmates who went on to become Division I college mascots. David Gagney was the lead handler of Ralphie, the live buffalo mascot at the University of Colorado, and I was the other. Although not selected in 2009 as the number one mascot, I was fortunate enough to assist with the program. On October 3rd, my family traveled to see me when Clemson played at the University of Maryland. It was embarrassing when my mom, Sue, shed her orange jacket. She was the only fan in the Clemson section dressed totally in black, an obvious fashion faux pas. It caught my attention, and when my dad Dave came down to the field, I handed him an orange T-shirt and under my breath declared, "Have your wife put this on." My younger sister, Addie, finished her freshman year in 2015 at Clemson, the third member of our family to attend Clemson University. A great television sports announcer will go silent for up to 2 minutes after a special moment to allow the video to speak. Late in the fourth quarter, Florida State quarterback Christian Ponder threw an interception to Clemson's defensive back DeAndre McDaniel. Ponder then attempted to tackle McDaniel. However, McDaniel ran over Ponder, separating his shoulder. Standing over Ponder on the sideline pointing was Jay Williams, the original Tiger Cub. A couple of plays later, we scored to guarantee the win. Tiger Band played Tiger Rag, and then you could hear Queen's "We Will Rock You" over the sound system. 80,000 Clemson fans sang the chorus, and with 30 seconds left, the guitar solo kicked in. Man, it was a magical moment that will forever live on YouTube and cell phones. It was just like the words by television announcer Al Michaels. "Do you believe in miracles?" when the U.S. hockey team defeated the Soviet Union in the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. What a great night to be in the Tiger suit. Final score, Clemson 40, Florida State 24. Doing push-ups is always fun, whether on the ground or being hoisted up in the air by the ROTC cadets. You never know when the day will come that you're setting a record. Well, during the 2011 North Carolina football game, as the #1 mascot, I pumped out 225 push-ups in the third quarter, setting a record by 15. Final score, number 8 Clemson 59, North Carolina 38. It had been 20 years, 1991, since the Tigers won the ACC championship. On this night in Charlotte, North Carolina, the orange sun turned into a real orange as the Tigers defeated the Hokies. It was raining oranges after the game as fans began throwing the oranges on the field, signifying our championship and a trip to the Orange Bowl in Miami. Final score, number 21 Clemson 38, number 5 Virginia Tech 10. The Clemson-Carolina rivalry exists in just about every home in South Carolina. We've all seen the mixed marriage license plates and the car window flags. Family members don't talk to each other for a year depending on the score. For example, Cocky and I were invited to a split wedding. I walked down the aisle with the groom holding the rings. Cocky was the maid of honor, and the wedding took place in a funeral home. We changed in the embalming room. I hope this was their family business. The NFL Carolina Panthers host a mascot bowl at halftime at one of their games. I tackled Sir Purr in the first half as the stadium booed. However, late in the second half, I took an end-around pitch for a touchdown, giving the college mascots their first win, and the Tiger the MVP award. It takes a special student to be a mascot. Until you show up for the tryout, you don't know if you can be that special person. In the book is a picture that shows a Clemson student dressed in a red, white, and blue bodysuit at Military Appreciation Day. He could have been a good mascot. It really doesn't matter, as he is a true patriot. Semper Fi. Our third Tiger in the 2010s was Chris Alston. Chris was the #1 Tiger during the 2012 through 2014 academic years. Chris earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science in 2014. His hometown, Decula, Georgia. Here is his story. Prior to graduation, the Alumni Association invites the mascot to attend an event so the graduating seniors can get one more picture with the Tiger. It was my first solo appearance, and we were at the Rock, which is now inside a locked glass box. The seniors showed up not only for a picture, but also for a chance to run down the hill. It's a cool experience not knowing if you're going to fall or how high you can jump in the air as you go down the hill. After the event, I found myself locked out of my changing room. Where is everyone when you need a key? Gaines Adams, a 2006 unanimous All-American from Greenwood, was the 2007 first-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Gaines died from an undetected heart condition in 2010. This former Clemson defensive end was elected into the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame in 2012, the first year of his eligibility. Gaines played football for love of the game, to borrow the name of a Kevin Costner baseball movie, and he left a lasting impression on and off the field for so many fans. There was a short video shown the night of Gaines' induction ceremony into the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame at the Brooks Center. Gaines' video featured former South Carolina quarterback Steve Tannehill talking about Coach Gaines in high school at Cambridge Academy. Yes, the same Tannehill who hit the imaginary home run and signed his name on the tiger paw in the middle of Death Valley. It was the first video of this emotional evening. Steve won the respect of all those in attendance. The rivalry and his antics were forgotten for at least 10 minutes as I presented Mr. Adams with his son's Hall of Fame award. It's the only time I ever cried in the suit. You don't realize how special it is to be the Tiger. If you're a student at Clemson, please consider being a mascot. It's worth the time, energy, and more importantly, the memories. Do it for love of the game. At the end of your movie, you get to wear the mascot gloves at graduation. The easiest push-up record to set is the one for the first quarter. All you have to do is score a touchdown each and every time you get the ball. But it's hard to have more than 4 possessions. However, on November 3, 2012, the Tigers scored a touchdown on each possession. The record number of first-quarter push-ups was set at 70 on this special Saturday afternoon. Final score that day, number 10 Clemson 56, Duke 20. Since divisional play began in 2005, the 2012 season marked the first time the Tigers ever tied for first in the Atlantic Division, and they did not get to play in the ACC title game due to the loss to Florida State. With the bad comes the good, like the win on New Year's Eve, followed by watching the Peach drop in underground Atlanta. A pretty good night for the $2 Tiger Paw bill that was strewn by Clemson fans. It's a tradition started in Atlanta in 1977 to show the economic impact of Clemson fans attending away games. Final score that night, number 14 Clemson 25, number 9 LSU 24. ESPN's College Game Day was in Tigertown in 2013 for our game against the Seminoles. The Goodyear blimp was parked at the Oconee County Regional Airport, and ESPN invited me to participate in the pregame pep rally, flying above the crowd in the co-pilot seat. Unfortunately, the morning fog grounded the airship, just as the Seminoles later grounded the Tigers. Final score, number 5 Florida State 51, number 3 Clemson 14. The final game of the season was at the Discover Orange Bowl and Sun Life Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, January 3, 2014, against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Florida State had won the ACC championship and was selected to play Auburn for the Bowl College Series National Championship in Pasadena, California. This allowed Clemson to represent the ACC in the Orange Bowl. The Tiger Cub and I were selected to dot the I during Tiger Band's pregame performance. Final score that day, number 12 Clemson 40, number 7 Ohio State 35. Once at an appearance, Sir Purr, the Carolina Panthers mascot, showed up wearing power stilts. It was the coolest prop I'd ever seen anyone use. A poor college student can't afford the power stilts, so I purchased a cheaper plastic version. Adding 2 feet to my 6-foot frame caught the eyes of the basketball coaches and the players as I bounced around Little John Coliseum. I remember once an opposing coach saying, "Hey, he wasn't on the scouting report." A knowledgeable college basketball fan knows the history behind the National Invitation Tournament. As a player or coach, all you want is another game. Although the 2013-14 season didn't end with a trip to the NCAA tournament, it did end in New York, playing Southern Methodist University and Hall of Fame coach Larry Brown in the semifinals. Basketball tournament games are the worst. You're confined to a small area with the cheerleaders and/or dance team, and you cannot move unless instructed. While I enjoyed the prestige of being at the Garden, I did not enjoy the game because you could not move along the baseline or go up in the stands. Like the road to the Final Four, the games leading up to New York were worth every second in the suit. Final scores: Clemson defeated Georgia State 78-66 in the first round, followed by a win over Illinois 50-49 in the second round. In the third round, Clemson defeated Belmont 73-68 before finally losing in the semifinals to Southern Methodist University 65-59. Our next Tiger was Andrew Beeler. Andrew was the number one Tiger during the 2014-15 academic year. Andrew earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Management in 2015. His hometown, Greenville, South Carolina. Here is his story. My roommate, Colin Stokes, and I were at a football game during our first semester in the Clemson Bridge program in 2011. He brought up the idea of being the mascot, and that sparked my interest. My first time running down the hill was on Military Appreciation Day in 2013. Next to me was Daniel Rodriguez, a Purple Heart recipient and true hero, waving the American flag. I waved an Honor and Remember flag, a patriotic moment for any American. Final score, number 7 Clemson 52, the Citadel 6. In the summer of 2014, I traveled to Louisville, Kentucky, along with mascots from all of the ACC schools for an event welcoming the University of Louisville to the conference. We got a behind-the-scenes tour of the Hillerich and Bradsby Company. The company has produced the Louisville Slugger baseball bat since the turn of the 19th century. We also visited Churchill Downs, which opened its doors in 1875 to host the first Kentucky Derby. Not since my sophomore year of high school had Clemson beaten South Carolina. The losing streak was up to 5, and now it was my senior year at Clemson, 2014-2015. Going into the game, I wasn't sure how quarterback Cole Stout would fare against the Gamecocks. We never had to find out, as quarterback Deshaun Watson, playing with a torn ACL, led us to victory. There were no more talks about a possible six-peat. The stars and planets were back in order. Final score, number 23 Clemson 35, South Carolina 17. There are no official records for the number of appearances by a mascot. However, between December 2012 and August 2014, I made a total of 218 appearances, with another year to go. Looks like 300-plus will be the unofficial record. Midway through the decade, Jonathan Mace became the number one Tiger during the 2015-2016 academic year. Jonathan earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Construction Science and in Management in 2016. His hometown, Lake Wylie, South Carolina. Here is Jonathan's story. Each week, millions of fans watch college football. In July 2015, I made my first trip ever to New York City to be a part of the College Football Association's playoff promotional video. We were picked up at the airport by a private chauffeur hired by ESPN. Movie stars can make up to $20 million per movie, but our compensation was free travel and accommodations. Shooting commercials is different than making an appearance at a local event in South Carolina. It is difficult shooting a commercial. They tell you what to do in each scene, and your character is limited. It was very frustrating. However, it was nice to be a celebrity, even though no one sees your face. As much as I liked and disliked shooting a commercial, I still view it as a great experience and an opportunity that was unforgettable. Nothing, however, tops off my next celebrity appearance, the November 2015 Country Music Awards in Nashville, Tennessee. In attendance with Nothing, however, tops off my next celebrity appearance, the November 2015 Country Music Awards in Nashville, Tennessee. In attendance was Brad Paisley and Steven Tyler. Tyler commented, "Oh, wow, this is so wonderful with all these mascots here." I shook hands with Blake Shelton behind stage, but most of all, I saw my all-time celebrity crush, Carrie Underwood, the 2005 American Idol winner. Underwood has been singing the introduction to NBC's Sunday Night Football since 2013. Backstage, she looked more attractive in real life than on television, while riding in a golf cart as the security guards were telling everyone to get out of the way. During this moment, naturally, I jumped in front of the security and boom, there she was, yelling over the crowd, "Clemson, what's up?" As my heart melted. I could have died that night and been okay. My life was complete. Well, almost. I had to finish the show first. One of my final appearances as the Tiger was a trip to a ski resort in Steamboat, Colorado for a marketing campaign called Mascots Stampede. The resort hired David Raymond, a former Philly fanatic and owner of Raymond Entertainment, to teach us how to perform as mascots as we interacted with skiers. Raymond put the mascots through various games: bowling, slalom bike racing, dance-off, and tug-of-war, and competitions to determine the MVP as part of the marketing campaign. I am very grateful for all the stories I have and the experiences that I've gained. Thank you, Clemson.